Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Now I would like to share some experiences that I had a year ago, or more than a year ago, at the first time I arrived in Australia, especially in Canberra. No, it wasn't the first time. It was the second time because I had been to Australia before in 2017, especially in Melbourne. So it was the second time I came to Australia again to pursue my study at the Australian National University. So it was the second time. It was in June 2018, and it was winter, of course. So it was too cold at the time and I couldn't handle it. It was so terrible for me because I've never experienced this kind of season before, because I come from Indonesia, and we Indonesian in general just have two seasons in a year, which is rainy season and dry season. So it was a new thing for me, and I was so shocked at the time with the terrible weather. And I noticed that I was starting to release my blood at the first time I arrived at Canberra Airport. What we called in Bahasa mimisan, right? Yeah, I got mimisan at the first time I arrived at Canberra Airport. Can you imagine? Because it was too cold. And it was so weird for me because in Indonesia in general, usually some people would get mimisan if the weather is too hot, but it's different with me. Right, it seems to be like the opposite of what happened in Indonesia, but the same thing. We released our blood from our nose. Yeah, but it is the thing that I wouldn't share to you more detail. The thing that I would share to you is related to Christmas. Why? So as I said before, that I arrived in Canberra in June 2018, and after spending a month, which is in July already, I realized that some Australian had a kind of tradition they call Christmas in July. So I was surprised at the time why people here have this kind of tradition that they celebrate Christmas in July. As you know that it's too far from December, right? Because in general, people in the world will celebrate Christmas in December, especially on 25th of December. But it's different with Australian because they have this kind of tradition. So I was so curious at the time, and I recall that I was accompanied by my auntie to witness this kind of celebration that some Australian had at the time. Yeah, we visited a town namely Queanbeyan. It was a part of New South Wales state, but it's closer to Canberra than to Sydney, so it's easy for us to trip to the place, to the town, to witness directly. Especially for me, it was a new thing for me. It was new tradition. It was a new culture for me. So I was excited at the time to witness directly Christmas in July celebrated by Australian in Queanbeyan. Yeah, we visited Queanbeyan. So it was sort of like a spot that they chose to come together and celebrate Christmas in July. So it was in July, but I saw many things related to Christmas, such as Christmas tree, Santa. I saw Santa there. I saw people singing Christmas song, and yeah, a lot of things related to Christmas I could find there, and it was fascinating.